Right now at 11, the owner of a dog that is accused of sending multiple people to the hospital and killing a cat during a separate attack facing his charges. During News for Jax at 10, we spoke with the people attacked by the dog. This happened on the south side.
One person speaking out tonight about surviving the attack, but we've hidden their identity for their safety.
And the dog attacked her, grabbed her arm, and she's bleeding all over the place.
My daughter was screaming and crying inside the house as it was going on.
Now at 11, we're digging deeper into what happened by looking at the legal trouble the dog's owner could face as a result of these attacks. News for Jax reporter Eric Avanier joins us live near the location where the same dog is accused of killing a cat. Eric.
Yes, I'm inside the Secret Cove subdivision where a 7-year-old cat named Zeke was killed by a dog that was accused of already attacking and injuring 3 homeowners, sending them to the hospital. And now the owner of that dog, who lives in this very same subdivision, could be looking at potentially civil lawsuits as well as criminal charges. 3 people had already been bitten by a dog they say resembled a white wolf when the animal showed up at the front yard of a home on Compass Rose Drive and began attacking 7-year-old Zeke the cat. Zeke's owner says she ran outside to help 2 men who were trying to pry the cat away from its attacker.
He did free my cat, kind of sent him over to me, and I grabbed my cat and took him immediately to the ER where he died on arrival.
That same night, a neighbor's security camera recorded video of a dog matching the same description, along with a man running across a driveway close to where Zeke was attacked. It's unclear if the man in the video is the owner of the dog. News for Jax has learned the dog and its owner lives in a home close to where 3 people were bitten. All 3 who showed us their injuries just learned from authorities that the dog may not have been up on its rabies vaccinations.
So now it looks like I'm going to have to go through rabies treatment, and my wife. And I have surgery coming up that's going to have to be postponed because of this.
According to the victims, who have all been in close contact with investigators, the owner of the dog recently moved to Jacksonville from New York City. News for Jax has also learned from victims who have spoken to investigators that the dog may have a history of violence in New York.
And this animal is out of control.
Investigators are trying to determine if the dog was deemed dangerous in New York. By law, an owner of a dog deemed dangerous in another state is required to report that danger status to authorities upon moving here to Jacksonville. And if the dog is deemed dangerous and attacks a person or pet, the owner can be charged with a first-degree misdemeanor. Now, we did go to the home of the owner of the dog to see if he would like to tell his side of the story. Unfortunately, when we knocked on the door, no one answered. Now, based on conversations I've had with an attorney who is not affiliated with this case, there is a good bet the dog owner will face lawsuits and possibly criminal charges. Reporting live from the South Side, Eric Avanier, Channel 4, the local station.